What's happening, Bills Mafia? Ryan Thomas here, back on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. And this is a special edition of the show, a short, as I like to call it, as they call it on YouTube these days, as far as content that I'll be putting out, just asking questions, and you guys provide me the answers to those questions that I bring about to Bills Mafia. Now, we are in the thick of it as Bills fans as far as the off season. The Super Bowl takes place next week, but we're here in the bye week of that time frame. And the Buffalo Bills do represent a team that is within their own off season. And with that comes a ton of questions as far as who they could bring in, who they could add to this roster that would make them a much more competitive team in 2022, 2023 in this next season in comparison to this past season. And I've had a lot of thoughts on who the Bills could bring in that could potentially make them better in 2022 to 2023. And one of the scenarios that has been, I guess, kicked around over the course of, the start of this offseason is, should the Buffalo Bills sign Rob Gronkowski? Now, this is a little bit more complex than what I'm saying right now. This is very complex as far as this situation, because Rob Gronkowski, it's unknown as to whether or not Gronk is coming back. Tom Brady just retired as the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And with that, a lot of people feel like if Brady's done, Gronk is done. But I want to just play the speculation game, because right now in this offseason, that is the funnest game to play, to just speculate on who could come to Buffalo to help Buffalo be a better team and why, and who are some of those names, and why are those names that could come and help the Buffalo Bills, and how do I think Rob Gronkowski in particular could help the Buffalo Bills. So I want to let it be known that this is all under the hypothetical asterisk as to whether or not Rob Gronkowski actually comes back to play. If Rob Gronkowski comes back to play, then obviously there are only a select few destinations for Rob Gronkowski that are worthy of his time, because Rob Gronkowski has accomplished it all. He's won Super Bowls. He's done it all. Arguably, he's one of the greatest tight ends to ever do it. That's an opinion that I have, an opinion that I think a lot of people share with me, that Rob Gronkowski is one of the best to do it. He's won multiple Super Bowls. He's been a part of some of the most prolific offenses in NFL history. And yes, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski share a record that is pretty notable in the terms of Gronk and Brady as a combination have more postseason touchdowns than any duo in NFL postseason history, passing recently Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. And actually, they did it in grand style in the Super Bowl last season against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Rob Gronkowski was someone on that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense that the Kansas City Chiefs had a very tough time stopping. So if you're the Buffalo Bills and you're looking to get that next step up on the Kansas City Chiefs, you have the opportunity, I should say, to bring in a player of Rob Gronkowski's caliber. You do it. You try it. You try to put that out there and make that happen and make this team a better team heading into this upcoming season. Plus, I feel like, as far as what Buffalo's offense brings to the table currently, Dawson Knox was a revelation this year. He had a great breakout season, and I think Rob Gronkowski would greatly help Dawson Knox blossom and flourish even more. I don't think he would hinder Knox, in any way. And I also feel like to have two tight ends within this offense, that's something that most great offenses in this league don't even have. Like Kansas City, they got Kelsey, but who do they have behind Kelsey? I couldn't even tell you. The Baltimore Ravens, they have Mark Andrews at tight end. Who do they have beyond that? I couldn't even tell you. Buffalo could have the best tight end tandem in the National Football League with Rob Gronkowski and Dawson Knox. Of course, as I've said in this video, all while knowing that Gronk could very well retire. So this is all just a hypothetical situation. If Gronk doesn't retire, should the Buffalo Bills go out and sign him? I say 100%. You have to at least try to reach out to Rob Gronkowski and his representation and say, hey, we're interested. We would like to have you. We feel like you could be a part of this offense to make this team better. And we feel that you coming home, to end your career. We know that Rob Gronkowski's from Williamsville, which is right outside of Buffalo, of course, played at Will North. Would that be something of interest? What's the dollar amount? The contract is a 1-year deal. And the dollar amount, I think, would range from 7 to 10 million, maybe 5 to 10 million if he does come on a hometown, quote unquote, literally a hometown discount, which I'm not sure he would, but let's just say he did. It's a possibility. But I think that this would be a great weapon to add to this offense for Josh Allen. And yes, Rob Gronkowski is not what he was 4 or 5 years ago, but Rob Gronkowski, without a doubt, is still a threat in the red zone, still a threat over the middle of the field. And just Rob Gronkowski being on the field in general at all is a threat to any team that Buffalo faces this upcoming season. So I would really love this move. I think that this would be an awesome move for the Bills fans. Bills Mafia would really love it as well. And this would be a move that I think makes a ton of sense if, in fact, the player like Rob Gronkowski is not retiring. I want to remind you guys as well that you guys, Bills Mafia, subscribe. Bills Mafia, subscribe to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast right here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button below. As well, you can follow me on any audio podcasting platform, whether it's Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Greatly appreciate the love and support. Bills Mafia, would you want Rob Gronkowski as a member of the Buffalo Bills? Although Rob is a hometown hero, you could say, hometown boy, of course, there are some Bills fans that have a little bit of a grudge against Rob based on the Trey White incident from a few years back. I think that'd be water under the bridge if Rob were to come on board to help this team just get this much closer to a Super Bowl. Right now, we got the Rams and the Bengals. We're waiting for that Super Bowl to take place. I look at that Super Bowl and I say to myself, this should have been the year that the Bills made it. What do they need to do to get that much better? Rob Gronkowski could be a part of that. And it's a fun speculation question that if Rob Gronkowski does continue to play, should the Buffalo Bills sign him? I think they should. I think it'd be an awesome move. And I think the cap space issue, we're going to see a few moves made by Brandon Beane that are going to clear up a lot of cap space for this team to go out and make some additions to this roster. I'm Ryan Thomas. That was the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Bills Mafia, subscribe.